Mark. So today I'll be tasting with Jonah beer. Jonah and I have known each other for a couple of years, and Jonah is the type of guy who can't stay serious for more than 5 seconds. So this has the potential to be a total shit show.
I'm blind tasting today with Meghan Zobeck, and if you don't know Meghan, you kinda should, and you probably know some of her wines.
Jonah was in Indiana. He was lined up to go to law school, and he saw the cover of a Wine Spectator that had a 92 Stag's Leap wine cellars on it. He decided to take all of his savings and buy that bottle, and that was his epiphany bottle. After he drank that bottle, he packed up his car and he moved to California. So he begged Stag's Leap Wine Cellars to give him a job polishing glasses. So he lived in his car for 2 weeks, polished glasses for Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, eventually moved his way up to Director of Marketing and Sales, and now he's the General Manager for Frog's Leap.
Meghan's got a great career in wine. She's made amazing wines for amazing people, and it's not the normal story. She was with the Denver Broncos. She was negotiating player personnel contracts for the Denver Broncos, where she had worked since she was in high school, and fell in love with wine on a trip to Santa Barbara. She does like the chasing harvest thing. She goes to Bordeaux, she's a Bon Pasteur, she goes down to Australia, she finds her way back to the US at Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, which is where we would have crossed paths, except I'm a really old man, and she is not. So we're about 10 years apart, but she did an internship at Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, then over to Screaming Eagle for a year, and then that's where she hooked up with Philippe Melcom. And then on to her new project and her new career, which is with Incanu. And I think that's a great place for her. And I think that they're making amazing wines, but she's just got a fresh attitude, a great approach. I think her winemaking skills are obviously great, but I'm very much looking forward to talking to her about some of the wines that I chose that I think can lead us into some very cool winemaking discussions and maybe even some VIT discussions.
So today I chose, for my white wine, I chose the Massican Sauvignon Blanc. So I chose this because Sauvignon Blanc is my favorite wine to make. It smells good when it's fermenting. It tastes good in the field. It's fun to make. And this is a winemaker that I totally appreciate. He is an East Coaster. He's basically one of the most intelligent guys that I know. He's kind of like an alley cat in a crowd of fluffy bunnies in Napa. He always gives you his opinion, and he's also kind of like leading the way right now in Napa for global warming and making us all realize that it's happening now. But anyway, so he makes this Sauvignon Blanc from Pope Valley, and it's a fresh style even though it's a warmer climate, and I think he's doing an awesome job, so I just wanted to showcase it. You know, because it's on the riper side, he may guess, I think he'll guess New World. It doesn't have enough grassy notes for him to guess New Zealand. I think honestly that he'll probably get that it's Napa. Yep, that'll work. All right, so for my red, I chose one of my Napa heroes, Philippe Togny. And so this is OG Napa, and he comes from a long line of OGs. Like his professor was Emile Peynaud in Bordeaux. He was one of the first graduates of the enology program in the University of Bordeaux. He came out here, he was one of the first winemakers for Mayacamas, and then he made the 69 Chapelet. So this dude's just killing it. He's 93, he's still alive. He's still working in the cellar with his daughter, Lisa. So I ran up there to go get this because I really wanted to make sure it was a good bottle and it had been cellared well, so I really hope it shows well. 97 was basically a perfect growing season. Should have a lot of longevity, probably also a lot of sediment, so we'll see how it goes. That'll be nice. It's showing maybe a little more age than I would like. I've had this one before, but that's okay. We'll roll with it.
Good to see you. This is going to be fun, and you're going to embarrass me, I'm sure.
No,
but
definitely
I can't
not.
wait for this. All
I
right.
have confidence in you.
Exciting.
I hope they're not too tricky.
Well, listen, I'm sure even if they're not tricky, they're going to be tricky for me. But I'm excited to be here with you today. This is going to be a blast. Okay, so you've chosen some, I'm sure, very classic wines for me that are super easy to get.
I hope so.
Like,
I
and
hope
you can go ahead and mouth the words now to what they are. Okay, so anything I need to know?
Not really. I think.
All right, let's just go for it.
Yeah.
Then, huh? Sounds good. Okay, this one's white. Nailed it. I'm leaving now.
High fives.
High fives all the way around. To steal a line from previous taster, I'm going to set the bar so low, even a baby could crawl under it.
High fives to that,
You know,
too.
yeah, exactly.
You're on a roll already.
All right.
Just stop the tasting.
Okay, well, look, this is a beautiful wine already. You can smell it's just a lovely wine. It's color's great. You know, I'm never really good at that. I'm always looking at the color thinking I should know more than I do, and I walk away going, I don't know what I'm going to get from the color.
Yeah, just stick with what you know.
Just very little. Okay, beautiful. There's a touch of wood to it. It smells to me like there's a bit of a wood character, but it's not in any way overwhelming. Kind of bright fruit right in line. A little bit of green apple maybe. Peach pit maybe.
You're doing really well.
Yeah, bullshit.
No,
but all
I'm,
right, I'll
I'm
take
not.
it.
I actually would love to give you total shit, but you're actually doing really well. I would be entertained by it, but actually you're doing really well.
Can I just walk out right now? Oh my God, that's great. Well, it's a lovely wine. First of all, thank you for choosing something delicious.
Good.
Because it is good. I like the acid on it. There's like a nice savoriness to it. There's a beautiful kind of green apple skin kind of savory quality to it.
Yes.
A little bit of roundedness.
Yep.
But nice, good acid. Bright wine.
Yep.
God, I hope it's one that you made and then it's just genius and I can just brag about you a little more.
I did not make this wine. That's the only clue I'll give you. I did not make this wine.
Okay, so I can scratch off the list Screaming Eagle. It is not Screaming Eagle.
It's not Screaming Eagle.
No.
No, but it is a wine that I appreciate the winemaking
Oh,
on.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you pick, like, was there a reason for, like, the winemaking approach that you liked about it?
I picked it because of the grape,
Okay.
and I don't think we've talked about. I'm trying to think if I'm
Like,
going
in
to give
the
it away.
past, have we, no, the
Quit
detective.
cheating, Jonah. Focus.
Just sorry. I just like to chat with you, too.
You've been good in the CIA, I think.
And you do not mean Culinary Institute.
No, I did not. Maybe that too. You're good
Okay.
at pizza.
That's true.
So, any guess on the grape? Like variety first.
Variety first. Look, there's a great savoriness to it. There's a nice, I would say, medium style acid to it. But the savoriness is an interesting element. Almost. First blush, I think maybe with even a little bit of the oak, you could think maybe Chardonnay, like a very kind of like restrained or style Chardonnay, but I don't think so.
I'm so impressed by your thought process right now. For a guy who just said you're totally sandbagging, you're totally
I'm
gonna
definitely
nail
not.
this.
I'm not going to nail it at all. Maybe there's like, and I don't know, texture-wise. I guess maybe I should think about the texture because I really haven't really thought about it. It's delicious.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah, the texture's there's a little bit of viscosity to the texture. There's a tiny bit of weight to it. But it still feels light on its feet because it's so well balanced and the acid's nice and bright. So maybe Chenin Blanc. And I'm not sure. Usually I expect a little more lanolin sort of quality from that, so I'm not sure.
Have you thought about if you think it's on the riper side of the variety or
That's a good question.
the leaner side?
See, this is why you're here. You're gonna help me out. This is good.
I'm hoping you'll do the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's on the riper side. I feel like there's a bit of a minerality, there's a bit of a neutrality to it. It's clean, it's got good length to it. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't talk yourself out of what you were thinking.
Yes, I know. I'm sure I will.
It's internal mental warfare.
I know, right? Now I'm like, oh my God, is it like Masakin, Ramola Gialla? And you just totally are trying to mess with me. Dan, I would not appreciate that. Okay, let's see, let's get down to it. So I'm gonna say, minerality, stony, a little bit of green apple skin, little pitty, good acid, nice length. I'm gonna shit. I've probably already screwed myself, but I think I'm gonna stick with Chenin Blanc.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna stick with Chenin Blanc. And
Just think it's on the younger side, the older
yeah,
side?
I think it's a younger wine. Still, I'm looking at the color. I have no idea why I do that.
Feels right.
It feels right. Feels like the right thing to do. Yeah, I feel it's a younger. Oh God, but yeah, still could be Chardonnay. Younger Chenin Blanc, New World, and I'm just gonna stick with that.
Okay.
That's it, and I can totally not we'll miss that later. This one maybe actually color's helpful.
Yes. This one may be trickier than I had planned for it to be.
Oh, wonderful. How good for me. Oh, good.
Yeah.
An accidentally trickier wine than you intended.
I'm very excited to share it with you.
Well, I'm excited.
So
All right, if you're excited about it, then that's great. Okay, well, it looks like we've got some age. It looks like we found a wine with a little bit of age on it.
Indeed.
And I think that's great.
That's when the putting up against the white actually
She kind of does something,
Nice.
Kind of does something for me. Wow, okay.
That's nice, though.
The age is gonna help me or hurt me? I think it's gonna hurt me.
It could go either way.
Wow. Another lovely, another great wine. This is beautiful. I'm
like
still no fucking clue where we're at right now, but I love it, and I'm very happy about it. Okay, there's kind of like there's an interesting, obviously the age is here, and we're seeing that there's like a nice little bit of sense of sous-bois kind of working its way into the wine, right? And some of the fruits hitting into that, almost like mandarin orange.
It's interesting. The age almost puts like an umami on it.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
I think that's what I love about.
soy.
Yeah, and that's classic Matt Stamp, which is like I'm not saying that just because you're here, but he taught me this a long time ago that like when you get that porcini meets soy meets kind of like truffle quality.
Right.
He's always like, thank old Napa Cab. So, but I don't know. All right, I'm going to talk myself into that one right now.
I love where this is going.
Boy, the fruit's really kind of nice and bright, but it's still like there's still a core fruit to it, and it's still present. But I'm going to say this is probably 15 years old. I guess how old would that be? Actually, it's probably older than that, now that I think about it, because it feels like I'm starting to think to myself, oh, it's probably from the 90s. Like, we're in 2019. I have to do better math.
Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
God, everything makes me feel old. Ugh. And seeing Angel and everybody here and Alex earlier, and they're like, babies. They're like, I'm 11 and I'm so good. I'm like, wonderful.
Like, we nailed all our wines.
We got them all first guess.
Fuck off.
I know, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, well, we can make them, so take that, Angel. Wow. I'm picking up, I think, a little more earth, a little more soy, a lot more savory. Fruit is present, but certainly hitting kind of in that dried sort of stage. Tannins are beautiful and clean. Acids kind of there. But I don't even know where to begin with this wine. So you're just gonna hose me on this one.
Go with your gut, no.
Oh God, that's the worst idea ever. Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave it somewhere around. I'm gonna leave it at 15 years old.
Okay.
Fruit's interesting. It's almost liqueur-like, but it's not. So I don't think this is like old Brunello or anything like that. And the color's a little lighter and leaner. So God, maybe it's at old Barolo. No. The acid's not quite there.
It's The internal mental warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Me
And I kind
too.
of want to drink a whole lot more of it.
I know, me too.
And at some point here, we can just stop these cameras and just sit back and relax and enjoy
Just
it.
gonna drink it.
Yeah, just kind of sit back
We don't
and
have
drink
spittoons.
it. I don't like spittoons. I know. Oh,
This
you
is
kidding
drunk
me?
history, right?
This is drunk history. This is drunk
That's what we
history.
signed up for?
Exactly.
We're just gonna get hammered.
Exactly.
Speak off random facts.
Most people don't know that Thomas Jefferson was up. No, shouldn't say that.
Do it, Jonah. You can do it.
Yeah, right. 15 years old. It is old world, because I just don't know if there's enough fruit to it. I just don't know if there's enough density to the fruit. So I'm gonna stay in old world. Based on the color, I think I'm gonna go to Italy. I'm gonna go to Nebbiolo, and I'm gonna just have to go with like maybe a little more feminine, so maybe Barbaresco. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, I just can't wait to see how badly I did. All right. Let's
The
get to
crazy thing is, like, you said the things. You said the things.
I said the
Okay.
things, and then I got myself completely off kilter.
Called Massacon,
Oh my God.
but it's the Sauv
Sauvignon
Blanc. And I think probably what threw you off was the ripeness.
Yeah, and there's
It's a little
there's
riper.
not the pyrazine element.
Yep,
that,
exactly,
like,
which
and it-
helps you steer your way into
for sure. You know, and
Sauv Blanc.
how
So
perfectly
maybe that
embarrassing
wasn't-
for me to get Sauvignon Blanc wrong.
But I just love, like, Dan, you know Dan as
Yes, I
well
do.
as I do, and I just love what he's doing.
Yeah,
and
no,
he's
it's great.
so critical of himself, and
well,
I just think,
I think that's what makes him great.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think this is fully him getting back at me from, you know, across the bottle for the crack I made at Holly and Keith's wedding, where I welcomed all the 100-point winemakers and Dan Petrovsky.
Oh
So
my
I feel like this is like my comeuppance, you know?
you're lucky he didn't shove you in the parking lot.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like now that, you know, you see Sauvignon Blanc, you think, oh, okay, great. Yeah, now I can see a little
No,
piercing, but
you're-
it doesn't show in the
No, it
wine.
really doesn't.
It was really well hidden and well integrated. And I like almost the fact that he got some neutrality out of it. Do you know his winemaking on this? Do you know what
Yes,
he was doing?
so he's like traditionally 66 to 75% stainless steel.
Okay.
He does stir the lees, only because it helps it continue through fermentation and maintains the like appropriate temperature levels. The thing I love about this one though is that he gets it from Pope Valley, and it was
Interesting.
originally planted for Mondavi Fumé Blanc.
Oh, that's so great.
And when their contract ran out, he actually like snagged 3 acres of
Oh,
it.
that's so
So that's what
great.
he makes this out
Yeah,
of.
good for him.
Which is pretty sweet.
Good for him.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
the
great.
way.
Nicely done. Nicely done,
When
Dan.
you said it's probably Massacon,
Oh, my
I was
God.
like, holy shit, is he gonna nail the wine right now? Like,
no. And then
jeez,
I quickly
Jonah.
dismounted.
Okay, so
Did not stick the landing. No Mary Lou Retton here.
that stamp was right on the old Napa. When you said that, I was like,
So
oh my
funny.
God. So this is like
Philip Tony.
one of
Yeah.
my favorite old school producers. And I knew this would sing to you because he was one of the first winemakers
Yeah.
for my Economist, which
Yeah,
is part of
God.
your
It is
motivation
a
for
part of
your
my life,
brand.
yeah. I'm so
Yes.
sad I missed it though. It's
For
funny. I
Pilcrow.
thought that the color I think threw me off a little bit. And there's
So,
and
yeah.
I used to I would have guessed with the 97 too that I would feel like there's a little more child star fruit to it. You know.
Sure. And I've had a few of those because I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And any excuse I have
and
to
I'm
go
also
up there
I
and
just
visit
love
them.
how the label's on so crooked.
I know, because they hand apply.
Of course
so,
they do.
I know,
And rapidly.
and it's
apparently.
just him and his daughter.
God, it's so great.
So I thought that was a nice one to share with you.
That is a nice one, and I love both of them, and thank you. Those are perfect examples. Do you think that there's, I mean, obviously with your career in winemaking, are there things that you look at here and see that you would think were obvious tells about who the person was behind them?
So this may not be the best example. I've had a 97 before, and they're usually a little more lively, so this may not be the best example of that, but Tawny ages so well. Like that's, I mean, it's one of my heroes in Napa because it's like, this is what Napa is capable of. And that was like a perfect growing season. So it's really like a winemaker's vintage, and same with 2018 for Dan. So
Oh, that's great.
I just love what they're doing.
Nicely done, and you weren't too tricky. Okay, listen, you did a great job. You picked amazing wines, but now the tables will turn, and you get to go to the stew room and sit and wait while I get to open and talk about the wines that I chose for you to taste. And I'm very excited for you to taste them, and I hope you'll enjoy them.
Oh, good.
Good,
Okay.
good, good. First wine that I chose to taste with Meghan today is a new one to the States, but it's not new in Burgundy. Domaine Albert Joly. These guys have been growing grapes and making wine in Pouligny-Montrachet for, gosh, like 7 or 8 generations. Sylvie Joly. This is Pouligny-Montrachet Les Tremblots. This is, I think, a very classic example of white Burgundy. I think she's gonna nail it. I don't really see her getting this one wrong. I just probably jinxed her. Like, you know, they say the announcers can jinx the kicker. I probably just did it to Meghan. But I love this producer and I love this wine, and there's a bit of a reduction to it, which I think will be a fun conversation to have with Meghan about her thoughts on reductivity in Chardonnay, its important role in Merceau and Pouligny-Montrachet, and I think this will be a good one. I really hope she likes it first and foremost, and I hope she enjoys drinking it with me. I know I'm gonna enjoy drinking it with her. Pouligny-Montrachet Les Tremblots from Albert Joly. I think that'll be a good one. I think that'll be a winner. That's perfect. So for the red, this was a tough one, and I picked it, and I was so committed to it, and now I'm wondering if I unintentionally have tricked her a little bit, and that was not the goal. This is 2009 Cane 5. I chose the 2009 vintage because I like Chris Howell's wines with a little bit of age on them, but at the same time, this one was 75 or 74% Cabernet. So I'm hoping that makes the identification a little bit more straightforward. But you know, Meghan is to me one of the more intellectual and smarter winemakers I've ever had the chance to know. So I think we'll probably be able to have a pretty good discussion here about not only Chris Howell and Cane and what he's done over the years, but hopefully a little bit about like what she's now venturing into with Nkanu and the whole world of natural wines as they are. But I think this is gonna be a good one. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Okay, Meghan, I love the wines you chose for me, I really do, and I can't wait to finish that bottle of Togni with you later. But now it is your turn. I've got 2 wines in front of you that I think might spark some good conversation, but I think you're gonna enjoy them. I hope you enjoy them. So let's get at it.
Okay. Trying to decide if you're friend or foe right now.
Oh, so friend, friend.
Okay.
Okay. That's the winemaker in you. You took one sniff and you're immediately jumping to like, what was the temperature on the primary? Like I can just see the little wheels turning in your head and I love
Nerd.
it. Nerd. I love you. Okay.
Love you.
Walk me through it. What are you smelling and tasting?
So, immediately reduction.
Yeah. Yes. And I just feel like anyway, continue.
Oh, it's so boring tasting with winemakers.
No,
because
it's
they're
great.
immediately like, what is the thing? What is the...
What's the thing
do
I would
I
do?
need to take care of this thing?
Did you feel that way with reduction? Do you feel like it's like...
No. I mean, depending on where the wine is from, I think.
Yeah,
I think there's
right,
a certain
okay.
tolerance for it in different
Right. Okay.
regions.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. I like it
Yeah, me too.
in white wine.
Me too. And I think you and I share that.
So like immediately, because of the reduction, I'm going to Old World because I feel like
Right.
New World, we have less tolerance for that.
That is true.
Yes.
Some of us do. Some of us really like
of
it. I
us
try to
do.
push it a little further, but
Some
like,
of
you
us
know.
are elevated.
Yeah. Well,
Sophisticated.
her words, not mine. I think that well, continue. I'm going to try to stop talking.
So with the reduction, let me taste it. I'm just gonna call it out, not talk myself out of it.
Okay, go for it.
Because I'm good at that. I'm immediately going Chardonnay,
Okay.
and I'm going with Burgundy. And I would call that, I don't know, Pouligny-Montrachet.
Okay. Is that your final call?
It is my final call. Do you want me to call a year?
I kind of do.
I'm not going to call a year.
I kind of do.
But I will. I'm going to say it's young, but I feel like that's going to be wrong.
Why do you feel like that would be wrong?
Because of the acid, I have a hard time calling the year. I think, I mean, like, I don't know. It's got great acid. Not a lot of, I mean, it's like light in color.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna guess, did I say Premier Cru already? I'm gonna guess 2011.
2011.
Although that would make it.
Recap the whole thing for us
I'm gonna
on your
call
final
it,
call.
Okay, maybe 2013. I'm gonna say 2013. I hope I'm not talking myself out of it. 2013 Chardonnay. I'm gonna go with Premier Cru and Puligny Montrachet.
Final call. And
final
I think, look, you're in. Let's do the red. Let's do the red.
Okay.
We're gonna talk in a minute about how you did on the white, but let's do the red.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, red wine.
All right, let's do it.
Now that we're done with kindergarten class,
God
let's
damn it.
move on.
Okay. I like it already.
You do? Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about it with the white wine. Did you like the white wine?
Although, yes, I did.
Okay, good. And you
Yeah,
were about
I
to say
enjoyed it.
woof. What were you woofing?
Well, initially, yeah, it's got a lot of earthiness.
A lot of earthiness.
Probably a little bit of Brett.
You're such a winemaker. You're like, like you can't whisper into your microphone. They caught it. It's fine. And yeah, okay. So you think that is Brett
Sound
a
guy
dirty
knows.
word to you?
No. So that's another interesting concept for me. In my winemaking, I believe it would be a dirty word.
Okay.
I think in old Napa, it's interesting.
Okay.
Because it's there, you can't get rid of it. It's already there. It's in the bottle.
Right.
It's an interesting part of the history.
Right.
And then in old world wines, I actually enjoy it. I think more than I do in new world wines.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Would you agree?
Well, we're going to discuss me
I mean,
later. This is
it
all about you.
depends. It
And
depends
I'm not going to give it away. So stop
on-
probing, CIA operative.
It depends on if it's leaning in the barnyard direction or the
Sure.
kind of nice, like, clovey direction. And you
Oh,
can't
interesting. Okay.
control that, so.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay. Ooh, interesting.
Do you like the wine?
I do like the wine.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going old world.
Okay.
I don't think it's got the tannin structure or kind of the weight to be Syrah.
Okay.
So I don't think it's there. I kind of, with the rusticity and the tannins, I'm kind of leaning to Italy.
Okay.
It's got really good acid.
It does have a nice acid.
I don't think it's too old. Like, it's not like browning around the edges yet. So I'd call it, but I do think it has maybe a little age on it. So I'd call it maybe like 10 years old.
Okay.
I don't know if it's got like the tightness to be Nebbiolo.
Right.
So I kind of think that maybe it might be Sangiovese.
Right. Okay.
It does have the acid though.
Any other old world areas that you're considering?
Ooh.
That's not a hint. I'm just asking because I'm fascinated by the wine myself.
It's probably gonna end up being like a Pinot Noir and I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot. But I don't think it has enough oak to be Bordeaux. Now you're making me play mental
stop. No,
warfare.
no, 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 no,
It's like
no, no.
mental warfare now.
No.
Oh, like, this is totally Burgundy, isn't it? I'm gonna stick with Italy,
Okay.
only because otherwise we'll be here for a million years
That's
while
okay.
while I overguess.
That's all right. Listen, there's no wrong guesses, just idiotic ones. Okay, keep going.
All right, I'm gonna go with, what year are we in? I'm gonna go with like 2009 Piedmont. I'm gonna go 2009, although I don't think the tannins are there. 2009 Barbaresco.
We both were on Barbaresco. Look at that, look at that. which you immediately know means you got it wrong.
Yeah, totally, shit.
No, that's a great guess, though. That's a great guess. Time for peel and reveal?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Put me out of my misery.
No, in fact.
Then we can drink.
We are gonna start off with you being just one of my favorite people in the world. Pouligny Montrachet, you nailed the white Burgundy.
God, cool.
This is Pouligny Montrachet, this is from Albert Joly. This is Les Tremblots. This, it's not Premier Cru, but it's a Liudi that actually borders with a Premier Cru in Chasson.
Awesome.
And so this is a classic producer that I think even sometimes, they have a rare underground subterranean cellar in Pouligny Montrachet, which is not common, but Sylvie Joly, who is multi-generational and the first female to head the entire estate. They grow grapes, they make wine. I just think she's amazing. I love the style of wine she makes. I think she uses reduction kind of in a cool way, where it's there and it's a part of that matchstick and that kind of brilliant quality. But there's just like, I mean, the fact that you zeroed in on Pouligny Montrachet, like instantly, I was so impressed. I was like, well, I brought the list. She's gonna kill it.
So clearly.
Because I think that this is, the only thing that I thought might be tricky about this is that it veers so much into that kind of beautiful reduction that I think it could have been Meursault. Like, I see people guess this, but on the palate, you probably picked up on that little bit more of like a lemon kind of quality on the fruit.
Oh, it's so pretty. It's like nice and flinty.
That's a wine I feel
This is beautiful reduction management. Like
Right?
that is like.
Do you find that like when you're making, like obviously for her it's a part of their tradition, but I find reduction to be like a beautiful but tricky thing to work with. Have you found that?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it stays on the end of like matchstick and kind of flintiness, it's beautiful. But when it goes into like cabbage and like farts, and you can't get rid of it.
So I just say farts is probably my new favorite descriptor.
It's farts.
Cabbage. I always said like yellow onion and skunky, but you're like this is farts.
Cabbage, and it's true.
It's like Brussels sprouts and farts.
Be gentle with it.
Red wine.
Whoa, you just blew my mind.
I know.
What?
I'm so sorry.
Also, what?
I
got the year right.
You nailed the year.
My God.
You nailed the year.
Like,
you nailed the year. 2009 Cane 5.
It has some bread in it.
Yeah, well, okay. So I think, I don't know if...
steered me in the
I know, and I even
direction.
said earlier, and I felt kind of badly about it, but I love Chris Howell. Do you know Chris Howell? The winemaker at Cane's, been there forever and a day.
I think I do know Chris Howell.
Chris is
Not
extraordinary.
As well as you do.
And honestly, his intellect to me is just what makes him just like you, it makes him such a fascinating person to taste with. And he's not obviously afraid of Brett. And when we opened it, I kind of thought, man, maybe she's gonna go Old Bordeaux. Because of the Brett.
Crazy.
And he drives acid to it.
But I was like, there's not enough new oak. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
God, that's crazy.
There's the thing that I thought might be, I was hoping would be a giveaway for you, was there's a little bit of a plumpness to the fruit. Like just enough, enough.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, totally. That was I literally couldn't place it.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trick you.
No,
but I just think that like, here's a guy who's using something that we all know is quite, uncontrollable, controversial, but also uncontrollable, like Brettanomyces, and he just wades into the deep end of the pool and doesn't really give a shit. And I just think I appreciate a winemaker like Chris who's so confident and dedicated, and I think the wine's delicious. Like I want to sit and see where it goes.
But, I like it, yeah, totally. No, I don't think a lot of new world winemakers are comfortable with accepting that into the biome of their cellar. Like,
and you and I worked
so that's pretty
worked at Stags at a different time when I was there during the Michael Salacci years and before that, and there was a Brett element to the old Stags Wine Cellars wines that, like, I think Rick Foreman always did the best with, in my opinion. Like those 85s, 85 Cask 23 to me still stands as a testament to like how great Napa Cab can be.
I need to drink with you more often.
Yes, as long as Matt's buying the burgers. But I just think that like Chris is cool, and I love this wine, and I thought you'd enjoy it, and I hope you did.
that's awesome.
I hope you did. And congrats, you nailed the Burgundy.
Thanks.
It's like
Man,
mic
I was
dropped
so
on
proud
that
of
one.
this. I was like, I'm so good at identifying Napa wines.
Well, we both fucked that up. So
yeah,
there's
hey,
no,
yeah, here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Love Napa. Fuck
Yeah,
that one.
exactly. Here's to you.
Cheers.
Salute.
Thank you.
This was great. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.